What is going on, Blue Chips? How we doing this morning? This evening? I'm so used to being in the grand scheme of trading. I missed it today. Definitely missed it today. Hopefully, we're all having a good day. Thomas, what's going on? You thought you were late. Yeah, I was trying to get this little green screen thing set up. I haven't used it in a while, so I was trying to figure it all out. Let's see what we got going on for today and the weekend since we didn't have a stream this morning. So today's was, if the fear of failure stops you, then you've failed by default. That's a pretty good one from this morning. Ooh, green screen's going to get us. And going into the weekend, you're the only one that can deliver. You're the only one that can deliver what you have to the world. Let's get to it. Okay, I am still in studio mode. We're going to get out of that. Alrighty, so yeah, a little bit of a failure there to open things up. I didn't really test that. What's up, Constantine, Zishan? How you guys doing? Yeah, I was completely lost today. I woke up and I was like, this is weird. I have time to do stuff. And then it was like 50 degrees and very windy. It was like super windy today. So I couldn't even do stuff outside. I was a little frustrated with everything. The intro was actually specially made by one of my close friends, David. So he used to be a video editor guy, and he still kind of does it in his spare time for fun. So, where do we start? What do you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about how the worst news of the virus is coming out, but yet the market is going up? Do we want to talk about my week that we had? Trading the new entry system and what our plans are moving forward. You want to talk about some hotkeys? I came up with a new hotkey I fixed it so that when I make the entry with a descending triangle, it will now also give me bracket orders 1-to-1, risk reward. What else could we talk about? If we get to 35 viewers tonight, which I don't think we will, just because it's Easter weekend, and I don't know. I just got a feeling that we might not, but I put it there in the title just in case some people might want to click over to see what the giveaway's for. All that good stuff. Maybe we'll get some new people in here. I cannot confirm nor deny if I am wearing pants. So I do not want to stand up to answer that question. So I will just leave it at that. Guys, again, appreciate the support. Up to 1,653 subscribers. That's amazing. I wouldn't be here without you guys. As far as the channel goes, I'd obviously still be trading, but just the continued support, knowing that we are actually getting somewhere as a group, it's good. It's heartfelt. It lets me know that one of the reasons I started this channel is actually working, right? We're here to have a channel where everyone can just come to the channel, know you guys are being told the truth, and anything that you want to know is you're going to be told the truth. I don't like to sugarcoat things anymore. I'm done. I did that when I was younger way too much, and I decided that lying is just stupid, right? Why lead people on if you don't have to? Root beer balls are good. They are. That's my favorite ones, the root beer ones. But they don't make that one in the 0 calorie, 0 carb, all that good stuff. So I've actually sent them an email before asking them to get on that, because I would absolutely love root beer to be something that I could drink because it's amazing. But instead for tonight, I had already started a Coke, so I'm going to finish that. And if an energy drink is needed, which I don't think it will be, we'll see. I feel kind of okay, at least to make it till midnight, so we'll see. Haven't been trading for a few days. Been buys with the real estate, trying to hit my goal as quick as possible. I feel like real estate's definitely going to be interesting this summer. You know how things get a little bit people start putting their houses up, come end the spring, early summer. I'm actually pretty curious to what happens with the real estate market as we get closer to that. Because, this is all going to kind of start ending as that would normally happen. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be an interesting rest of the year. I feel like when it comes to the markets, everything is not going to be back to normal probably for at least a year from now. Maybe even longer. I don't know. So we'll see. I don't want to find out if you have pants on. Well, you said you want some balls. So just saying. You can cheat one day. Well, the problem is if you look at one of the regular balls, those have like 40 grams of sugar in them or something like that. So it's like, there's like one piece of hair on my mustache. It's like sticking up and I keep seeing it. So that's why I keep messing with it. But yeah, I being on the keto diet, I can't really mess with that. It's tough. My dad got hit pretty hard. Hotels are closed. Yeah, I can't do the no sugar, but I've been doing my best to... God, I'm just going to go cut it off in a second. It's going to bother me. Well, I didn't see it like all day, and now all of a sudden it's like bothering me. Technically this has no sugar, but it's got that... what's the thing called that they use in place of it? It's not the aspartame, is it? Or is it? I don't see the other one. The sucralose is what I was thinking of, but I don't see that on the ingredients here for Coke Zero. Maybe it is the aspartame. Oh, Karashumi. Okay. Anyways, we'll start kind of like we normally do. Let's go through the week in review. Starting here on the 6th. I am not shaving it off. Aspartame. Thank you, mother. So CPRI, real quick, I want to show you guys something before I click on this, which I did, but I clicked the wrong thing. Look at my risk reward on each of these trades. This is a cool thing that you can keep track of on TraderSync. So every single trade, you know exactly what you're risking. Now, you do have to put it in there. So like if we click on SRG, when you're putting the trade in right here under targets and stop losses, you would automatically just put this in afterwards. So for instance, when we took the short position here at 1289, well, this is actually going to be a bad example because this was a descending triangle. Let's go to, we could figure it out, but it'd just be easier to go to one that we can see clearly. Okay, so here on CAR, our profit target was 40 cents away at 1701. So we put our target price in there. So that shows you that we had a risk, or we were looking for a take profit of $10, which also means our stop loss was 40 cents away at 1781, which gave us a risk of $10, which 1-to-1, right? So that's what we've been doing lately, and we've also been keeping track, as you can see here, of whether 2-to-1 would have worked, which we're going to get to after I go through the trades real quick. But it's pretty cool because in a nutshell, you can pull this up and you see what your risk was on any given trade. So if I want to go back later on, because just a little tidbit into the future here, we're at 19 total trades. I was planning on, when I get to 25 trades, upping the risk from $10 to $20, and then at 50 trades we'll go from 20 to 30, and then from 75 to 100 we'll be at 40. So that's the goal, and that's per trade, right? So each trade right now we're making or losing $10. When we get to 25 trades, which should probably be either Monday or Tuesday, that following day we'll go to $20 per trade, and then the next one will be 30. So, and as you can see right now, as we are looking for a 1-to-1, we're currently at a 63.16% win rate. That's pretty good, right? Anything over 50% technically is a winner before you consider slippage and commissions. So where that puts us, if we're looking at I like looking at the overall P&L, which this will look a little better, but that's the only other thing. But this is my P&L so far with just the $10 risk. When we up it to 20, obviously our graph is going to, maybe swing a little bit more up or down depending on the wins and the losses. Yeah, Zishang, you actually reminded me about the Webull thing. I'll tell you that in a sec. So obviously at $10, if everything we trade is at $10, that's okay, all fine and dandy. But at the same time, when we jump up to 20, it's going to throw all of these stats off, right? So on a 25 trade basis is basically going to be what we're looking at as far as the sample size just per risk. But overall, we're going to be looking at the wins, the losses, and stuff like that over the course of 100 trades. So that's what we're ultimately looking for. But I just wanted to make sure that I felt comfortable taking the trades. And that's why I just started with the smaller share size to begin with. And now that we are starting to feel comfortable with it, I feel much more confident, up in the share size to jump up a little bit on the risk there. So yeah, Thomas is right. The day trader did come out on the Webull thing. I actually sold all of my positions for a 20% gain is what I ended up with. And I'm going to take that money. It ended up being $500 on $2,500. I had 5,000 in there to invest, but I only got 2,500 of it in. And as you guys can see, the market has rebounded significantly. And it started getting to the point where the SPY and the market itself was actually still going up, and the companies were not really following as closely. And let me just show you an example real quick. Let's pull up our charts while we can here. So we have the SPY down the bottom here, which if we scroll out here, or actually let's just pull up the daily. It'll give you a much better picture. So let's do this so you guys can see it. There we go. So let's look at the daily here on the SPY, and what I want you to focus on is kind of this W, right? We'll consider this the left side of the W. We get a bounce up, we come back down sort of, and then we're rocketing up, right? And we're almost 50% of the way back up to the highs. That's ridiculous, right? Now let's take a look at some of the positions I was in, like CCL. Look at this. The big move down, the big bounce, a bigger move down. Remember, the SPY stopped kind of up here, and now the SPY is like way up here where like $25 would be, and this is still down at $12, right? Let's take a look at another one, RCL. This one made a little bit more of a move, but it did come back down here at the end, but big move down, the bounce up, back down, didn't get to the lows quite, but there you go. Delta. Look at this one. This one's just like Carnival. Big move down, the big bounce up, big move down, didn't really come back up. American Airlines. Same thing. This one actually kept on going down. Toll Brothers. This one actually did kind of follow the SPY a little bit. So this was actually one of the ones we made the most money on as well. Dave & Buster's. Tried to kind of mimic the SPY, but didn't really get back towards the highs. What was the one other one that we had? So we had 8 total. I can't remember the last one. I could pull it up, but it really, let me pull it up through here. Oh, maybe not. Desktop. There we go. It was, MGM and Under Armour. So I missed 2 of them. So MGM, this one actually kind of followed the SPY. This was actually the one I made the second most money on. I remember that. And then Under Armour basically didn't do anything. So the range on this was kind of crap, but it did start to come back up. But what I'm saying is, like, go back to the SPY. Look at what this thing came all the way down, bounced, came not even halfway back down towards the lows, and then just shot back up, right? So I started to realize that the stocks aren't going to continue to follow because, these places are basically shut down, like, fully. So really doesn't make sense to me hoping that they're just going to continue up higher like the SPY has now, especially when I still strongly feel that the SPY is going to come back down at some point. I think this is a lot of the government injecting money into the market. I think it has a lot to do with the presidential campaign race that is about to start. I really feel that a lot of the move that we were looking for has already been priced into these stocks where they are. So I just don't feel that we are going to really get that much more out of the move on the individual tickers over the course of like the next 6 months to a year. So I said, why would I wait that much longer for the moves to happen when I can just take my 20% on my $2,500, which was $500, and I'm actually going to take that full amount out and I'm going to put it into an interactive brokers account, which will be under the PDT rule. But I've seen through ISW that IB is what Brian, the owner of ISW, that's what he uses. And there's a lot of stocks that sometimes, not a lot of stocks, but there are some stocks where I do not have shorts available on CMEG that he does have available. So if that situation happens, I can quickly pull up IB, which I'll have in the background, just like a nice single chart, single stock kind of setup, and I'll be able to trade it that way. So, and I'll just have 3 trades per 5-day rolling period. And hey, it'll just be a nice little thing to have available. So that was what happened with my Webull account. Trump put some government money in the market. Oh yeah, well, they said they were. Balls in the mouth. Not tonight. Not yet anyways. Just some Coke Zero for now. You guys start donating some money, I'll put some balls in my mouth. That just sounds so bad. The government doesn't have any more money. They definitely have some money. It's just it's not their money. It's basically paper money. It's funny too because now they don't even have to actually print the money. They just put it in the circulation digitally. It's crazy. Blame Trump even though he's going to win again. He's definitely going to win now because of it's Biden. I just the dude's going to die before we even have the election. I don't really mean that. I'm sorry, Biden. But I could see it happen. I didn't have any UAL, believe it or not. I thought about it. I actually didn't really like their fundamentals like at all. I won't be either. He's actually been really helpful. The economy was booming the past year, but coronavirus was, dude, if there's one thing Trump's good at, it's running a business, right? So running the economy side of things as the president, I had no doubt in my mind that he was going to do good at it. I said that when he was elected. But, the coronavirus, there's nothing you can do about that. It's an act of God that you're never going to be able to control something like that. Is there a limit to how much you can add at one time to your account? No, not really. I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. I'm sure if you randomly added a very large sum, they'd kind of red flag and be like, yo, where'd this money come from? Like the broker that I'm on here with Capital Markets Elite Group, when you are depositing the money, they ask you where it's coming from. And I'm pretty sure the American brokers do that too. Because I just went to reopen the IB account and it asked me where the funds were going to be coming from, like a previous broker, savings account, IRA, like whatever it may be. They want to know where it's coming from. Yeah, of course it sounded wrong. I'm talking about putting balls in my mouth. The money came from drug dealing. All right, so let's get back to... Don't talk to me. Where we were. We went over these trades from last week, and as you can see since then, let's see how we actually ended up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, let's just do date. So it's the 6th. So this is just this week. So we ended up around 3R over the course of 13 trades, 61.5% win percentage. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins, which puts us at 5 losses. And as you can see, we definitely had some slippage on this one, right? We lost $12 instead of 10. COOP, was this one of the descending triangles? It was not. So what did we do here? Oh, this is the one we adjusted our stop because we kept getting on the bid and not getting filled. If you guys, let me go back to full screen, sorry. So on this one, if you guys were paying attention this past week, we were actually sitting at, I think it was 811, 868. So it was actually 828 because it's 40 cents. So we were sitting at 828 on the bid, as you can see right here, and it went to 825 and we got no fill. And then it came back down again. We put it at 811 and we couldn't get any fill. And as it started to come back up, we took it off and we ended up with 819. So that was we ended up making more than we were risking, but at the same time, it was a little frustrating because we didn't get the move back down. Now I'm wondering, I remember talking to myself about this trade a little bit later, saying I should have moved my stop down to my original take profit, basically as a trail, right? Like try to let this thing continue. And then if it would have hit 828, as you can see, it obviously would have, I would have just been stopped out, but I could have put like a new range order using my original take profit as the new stop, which I've been thinking about that. Like if I get, like, let me give you another example here. Let me find one where the thing just straight up went through. I think car was one of them. Oops. Yeah. So, well, in this case, kind of, but let me just find a better one. I know there was one where the thing just like dumped. Was it EFC? Yeah, it was. It was the third trade on EFC. All right, so I didn't add the picture to all of them, I guess. Let's go to the first one here. Yeah, so here we go. On EFC, you can see we had an original take profit here at like 1125 area, and this thing just kept on going. So if I think we hit the top and it's coming straight down to that our take profit, and we feel like we're at a key level where it could break, we could just get an order ready just in case, and we could basically cancel this one. And if it does dive through, we could literally just put in a stop real quick at our original take profit, and then theoretically we could let this thing continue for as much further, like as as far as we get it to go. But I feel like that's getting into like the advanced side of this, and on top of that, that kind of makes it less systematic, which I don't really like. Now, the whole idea of getting the bracket orders in when you take the trade is to kind of make it a little bit systematic. Mother, you weren't. Why are you donating me $10? Thank you. All right, fine. Yeah, if you guys are going to donate, the super chat is fine. I appreciate that. But if you do it through the link down in the description, I actually get that full amount versus here. I think YouTube takes like half of it because they're YouTube. But all right, be right back. So, I was expecting it to be one of you guys, not my mother. Let me try to fix my camera here. The green screen's kind of on edge there. Oop, that's not what I want. There we go. There we go. That's a little better. So, balls, BAWLS, energy drink. The green screen's really kind of messing with it, clarity. But, yeah, here we go. This is what the giveaway is for, guys. If you guys want 2 balls to put in your mouth, we just need to get the 35 concurrent viewers. You have to live in the United States, and you have a chance. You just have to be here when we do the giveaway. Any trades? Let me catch up. I was actually thinking to switch to IB recently, but current CMEG commissions are really low. IB requires too much money to be locked there to avoid PDT. Yeah, Constantine, I agree. Well, you're out of country though, so it might be a little different. Because I know if you live in Canada, they technically don't have the PDT rule. So I don't know if that would be the case for you. Might have to look into that. Zishan, the market was closed today. I think you knew that. Tom, what's going on, man? Yo, yo, yo. Mom, thanks again for the dono. Appreciate that. You guys should follow suit. Support the channel. Just use the stream, the link down in the description. Just made me mad again with EFC and the Amazon guy. Okay, I'm better now. Can you explain how margin maintenance works in CMEG? Because I found several definitions and don't know which to believe in. So I think I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the margin maintenance as far as like end of day? They give you that little pop-up talking about margin maintenance. What that's telling you is during the day, say you have a $5,000 account or just even a $2,500 account, if you are in a position and you currently have 6-to-1 margin. Well, say you want to hold that position overnight. Well, you can't hold that full position if you're using 6-to-1, like all of your buying power. What you would have to do, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, but you would have to bring it down to 2-to-1. So say you have a $5,000 account, that's 30,000 buying power. Say you use 50,000 of that or 25,000 of that in a trade and you want to hold it overnight. Well, you can't hold that full 25,000. You would have to bring it down to 10,000, if that makes sense, because you can only hold 2-to-1 overnight. And that's basically what the margin maintenance is. They're just basically saying you need to bring this to 2-to-1, and that's that. If not, we're going to do it for you, and we're going to charge you for it, because that's what they do. But I believe that would answer your question. If not, go ahead and just keep asking. I heard YouTube ad revenue are down. That sucks. YouTube ad revenue, you guys always see it over here. I mean, this is only the last 30 days. Let me, analytics. You guys know I don't hide any of this crap from you. You ever want to see it, just let me know. If we go to lifetime, because you guys remember I just got monetized, December, like the end of December, because we were trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I think if we look, can we click on? Yeah, here we go. So you can see the exact day. So it was like, actually, it looks like, what was this, January 5th? Or these are videos. December 29th. Or nope, December 24th, Christmas Eve of 2019, I made my first penny on YouTube. And as you can see, I was basically on YouTube for a whole year before we got to that point. So basically worked for free. And I'm basically still working for free on YouTube. Because as you can see, it's now April 11th, April 10th. So we're 4 months into the year, and I've made $296.04 from YouTube. So don't ever think that YouTube really pays very well, because I mean, I'm not doing this for the YouTube ad revenue, guys. Trust me. Do you think I could open up a CMEG account while unemployed? I don't see why not. I don't think that they care about your employment. I think they care about where the money's coming from. So as long as you can prove where the money's coming from, they're not going to care. Yeah, see, Jisan said I did. Mom said I like to start trends. Well, you are a trendsetter. If you use the margin, what is their take profit? Thanks. Or, well, no. Okay. I feel like you guys are taking the margin thing wrong. So let me see if I can pull this up. So margin right here, right? It says we're on a margin account. As you can see, $3,109 is what I have in my account right now. My buying power is 6 times that. So it's $18,655. When I want to trade, this is technically my buying power, $18,655, because on CMEG, they don't limit any specific stocks. I think if they're over $2, it's either $2 or $3. I don't remember exactly. But if it is over, we'll just say it's a $10 stock and you want to buy 1,800 shares of it, right? Let's just pull out the calculator and we'll try to use simple math here. So 1,800 shares times $10 is 18,000. So that's pretty much the max that you would be able to buy with your buying power on a $10 stock, 1,800 shares, which you should never be doing, right? But let's say you wanted to hold this position overnight for some reason. Well, you would have to basically divide this by 0.3334. That is definitely not right. What did I do? Oh, point. I'm not doing math correctly. I got to times it. Sorry. It is late, and I did not get a nap today. So we would have to get it down. Oh, we already knew that. We had to get it down to a $6,000 position. So then if you divide that by 10, say it's still at $10, you would have to go from 1,800 shares down to 600 shares, which would bring you down to a 2-to-1 margin. right? So that's how it works. If you do, they don't charge you at all for using margin. What they do charge you for is if it's a long position and you're holding it overnight and you're within the 2-to-1 requirements, they don't charge you anything. But if you're short, they have let me pull up the frequently asked questions here. I don't remember the exact amount. Actually, hold on, it's in here. They charge you a percentage if you're in a short position. Interest. Here we go. So what is the percentage of margin interest for, let me move this a little so you guys can see it. For interest for overnight trades, the following interest rates are based on the market value of the position at market close. So for pretty much anyone that's watching this channel, I would think you would be paying 7.5% on your overall position. So take, it would be 6,000 times 0.075. So I'm doing the math wrong, but it would be $4.50 to hold this position overnight. It should be, maybe is it 600? No, I don't know the exact math that we would have to do here, but I know it's not that expensive, right? It can't be that expensive because I've paid before holding a short overnight, and it was like $1. It was like all under $10. And it was a pretty big position. It was 1,000 shares of something. I don't remember exactly. Am I doing the math? I'm so bad at math at night, guys. This is why I should not be doing math at night. 7.5% on the position. So, I mean, it's 18,000. Or no, it would be 6,000 times 0.075, right? That's 7.5%. There's no way it's $450. That would be absolutely insane. Am I doing something wrong? I'm doing something wrong. You guys can call me an idiot and figure it out. That's it. Yep, you guys. Thank you. I'm an idiot. So there you go. $1.23. I knew I was missing a key step there. So yeah, if you're holding a short position, it would cost you, like in this instance, in this example that we're doing, $1.23. If you are going long, it's nothing. You just have to be 2-to-1 overnight. That's it. As you can see right here, 2-to-1 is 2 times the equity amount. Whereas in the buying power during the day is 6-to-1, because if you're over $2,500, you get 6-to-1. Thank you, AN. I appreciate that. Yeah, when you sell, that's what we just talked about. Vincenzo, I was chatting on a cooking stream and I asked how to make an omelet and was laughed at. That's kind of funny. Speaking of which, guys, I will be cooking a pork butt on Saturday night into Sunday morning. So if you guys are interested and want to stop by, feel free. I'll have plenty. Man, balls are good in your mouth. So good. All right, where were we? So yes, yeah. Webull money is going to, here, I'll just pull it up. I'll show you guys. It was like right under 500. It was like 497. $491, sorry. 491.86 is what we ended up with. So no more positions. As you can see, everything is settled, so I can go ahead and actually start that withdrawal. I was waiting for everything to settle. Here was the journey, pretty much like the market. We had a really good entry. It came all the way back down. We actually got a pretty good add in here, and then there just where we took it all off. So could have made a little bit more. We actually were up 66% at one point when we only had 1,000 invested. So a little frustrating we only walked away with the amount that we did, but hey, the market does some weird stuff. But yeah, I mean, if we really wanted to go through, I could show you all that's pretty much all of them right there. So first buy, that's not the first one, but yeah, here's what my final P&L was on every single one of them. Made the most, actually MGM was the biggest one. I thought Toll Brothers was. I don't know why it actually wasn't. It must have had the smaller share size there when we had bought the dip there. So that was our final take profit on all of those. As you can see, American Airlines and Under Armour were our two smallest ones. Where's Delta? Actually, it was Delta. We actually lost money on Delta. So there you go. Keto friendly? Why wouldn't a pork butt be keto friendly? It's just pork. It's all fat and protein. If the ticker says ETB, do you have to reserve shares to short? No. ETB is easy to borrow, so it should be easy to borrow. So you shouldn't have to reserve any shares. The only time you would reserve shares or locate shares is kind of what you're talking about, is if a stock is hard to borrow or does not have any shares available. But on CMEG, it's either easy to borrow or it's hard to borrow. It's one of the two. Like it just says not shortable. But you can pull up. It's not going to show me now because obviously we're not in market hours. But you would go to trade, short locate. Let's pop this window out. Be easier to see. You would type the ticker in, how many shares you want, and then you would hit inquire. So obviously it's disabled right now, but there's two different routes that you can choose. And yeah, it'll pop up. It'll tell you it's probably like a penny per share because it is the SPY. But the thing with CMEG is you would have to pay a locate fee. So it's $25 locate fee, but then you would also have to pay the price per share. So 500 shares for a penny per share, that's $5. So you would have to pay $30 just to get the shares and then use them at your disposal. And now once you pay for those 500 shares, they're yours all day. So always keep that in mind as well. ETB or SSR. SSR means short sale restriction. So that's a whole different topic. But what that basically means is when you get these big down moves, sometimes stocks will go on SSR. And that prevents you from being able to short the ticker on the bid. You have to short on an uptick. So if I wanted to short the SPY and it was on SSR, you can see the bids at 278.97. I would actually have to put an order on the ask at 279 as a short and hope to get filled on an uptick. So what that does is it prevents the stock from basically just going straight down, because the only people that can sell on the bid are people that are long in the position. So it prevents people from being able to slam the stock down by shorting on the bid. So that's why it's called the short sale restriction. Is that only on DAS? What only on DAS? You have to ask the question again. I don't know what that was referring to. I saw a Southwest plane in the sky today. First flying plane I've actually seen in weeks. They usually go over the house. It's been weird not seeing them all the time. Yeah, I actually have seen a few the last couple of days as well because I've been outside working on the yard. So if I use Sterling, is it the same process to locate that you just showed? You can locate on Sterling. I don't remember where it's at, but it's going to be in your menu somewhere. Just look for like the trades. It's going to be on there, one of the things, and you'll see it says short locate. It's somewhere. I remember it was there when I used Sterling for a month. So I don't know exactly where it's at. I can't tell you. If I had it in front of me, I'd find it for you, but I don't. But yeah, just open up the main menus and it's going to be under one of these. It'll say short locate somewhere. Yeah, flights are definitely down. I know they're not like completely open back up or anything, but I did see a few fly over this way. It was probably just something to do with the wind, so they sent them this way. Yeah, of course, no problem, man. If you guys could, I see we have 15 people in here, so we're almost about halfway to doing that giveaway. Hit that like button, because if you hit the like button, I think the YouTube algorithm likes it, and it'll start recommending the stream to everybody else, and hey, maybe we'll get the other 20 people in here to do the giveaway. And back to what I actually love this, the fact that I keep trying to do something and we kind of keep veering off. I like it. It's nice. That's kind of what keeps the stream going. So back to this week, CPRI. I think we had 2 descending triangles that we took in here. I think one was SRG. It was our last trade of the day. Correct. And I think it was this CPRI trade. Yeah, it was. And how I can usually tell if one's a descending triangle is you'll see my risk is only 984 here, as close to 10 as I could get. And my return ended up being bigger than that, right? So that means that I obviously played it well, but it usually means that it's a descending triangle because I made more than what I was risking. But that will change, at least temporarily, because I'm going to be putting 1-to-1 brackets on my descending triangles anyway. But like I said, I'm going to keep an eye on maybe some feeler move downs of the take profit area. We'll see. Because I could always adjust the stop to the previous take profit. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to play that one by ear. Well, jumped up to 10 likes. Appreciate that, guys. Here we go again with the giveaway. Dude, I have to keep talking about the giveaway because until it happens, I have it to talk about. So until we get to 35 viewers, I mean, hey. We've actually been doing really well in the morning live streams. We've been up to 30 viewers pretty frequently. So I even said I was transferring the giveaway to the morning live stream as well. So if we hit 35 viewers in the morning live stream, I will do it there. And then once we hit 35, I'm going to do 40. And then once we hit 40, I'm going to do 45. And I'm just going to keep going up by 5s. That's how easy it is to get the giveaway. So you guys are going to have multiple chances to win as the channel grows because I'm just going to keep going up by 5 every single time. It shared me on Facebook. With who? It's very quiet out there. Too quiet. Well, that's because you live in the middle of nowhere, Vincenzo. Yeah, no problem, Slick. Appreciate it. Appreciate you stopping by. So, what are the CMEG fees again? Commissions and platform fees, $120 a month, right? Is that also a market data fee? It's $125 for DOS. It's $134 for Sterling. So it's $90 for DOS platform, and then it's it's $35 for the data fees. And it's $99 for Sterling and $35 for the data fees. So that's how they split that up. But you can't, I mean, they come one in the same. So it's $129 for DOS, $134 for Sterling. Pretty sure it's $134 unless they change the price. Let me check real quick. My friends. They're probably going to be like, what the heck is this? I don't care if its US IP is detected. Trading platforms. Yeah, so this is Sterling, which is 99. Yep, and then DOS is 90. So I was right. So actually, I'm off. It's 125 for DOS, and then it's 134 for Sterling. So it's a $9 difference between the two. And believe it or not, DOS used to be 150 because it used to be a dollar or one. So maybe it's just, yeah, it was 115 for DOS, and they lowered it to 90 so they could get under the price, I guess. And just to finish up what Santos was asking, the commissions, if you use it's $3.95 per ticket. If you don't use the code that I have down in the description. So if you want to sign up, make sure you use the code down in the description because then you'll get $2.95 trades. And I remember when I was switching from SureTrader, they were $4.95 trades. So even going down to $3.95 was nice. It was $1 every single time you took a trade, a ticket. So if you only get in once and exit once, that was $2 per trade that you were saving. But if you use the code, which I used someone else's code when I first signed up with CMEG, and it was $2 per ticket, which meant $4 per trade. That was a big deal for people coming from SureTrader over to CMEG. So yeah, it's $2.95 for the commissions, and then the platform fee for DOS is $125 or $134 for Sterling, to answer your question. How much do you risk in every trade, and which is your target? So we were just talking about that a little bit earlier, Alonzo. So right now I have it set to $10. That's all I'm risking. I'm risking 10 to make 10. I'm doing 1-to-1 as my strategy, and I'm keeping tabs on every single trade. Like if we scroll through these real quick, of whether my 2-to-1 would have worked. Obviously a descending triangle is not one that we would look at, but as you can see down here, 2-to-1 would have worked on car. 2-to-1 would not have worked on ARMK. So obviously any loser that I was in, it would not have worked. But here you can see a winner on COOP where 2-to-1 would not have worked. So I actually ran through these stats. I was talking to David about it. Let me scroll up here and we can look at the stats so I don't have to go through them again real quick. All right. So yeah. Okay. So for my 19 trades, let's X out of the date real quick, or let's change it back to. So this is all of my 19 trades. Only 17 of them were the standard 1-to-1 trades, and 2 of them were descending triangles. So out of the 17 trades so far, 8 of them were winners, or not winners. Sorry. 8 of them were 2R. They would have worked 2-to-1. So that would be 47%. So if we do the math, 8 times 20 in this case, right? We're risking 10 to make 20. That's 160, which means that the other 9 trades, man, I do not do math well in my head at night. 9 trades would have been losers, right? So 9 times 10 is 90. So 160 minus 90 is 70. So if we were taking every trade with the 2-to-1 premise, we would be at $70. Now, if we do 1R, we are currently 10 out of 17, which is at around 60%, so 59% to be exact. But if we take 10 times 10, that gives us 100. And then if you do the other 7 times 10 is 70, 100 minus 70 is 30. So technically, if we were doing 2-to-1, we would be up twice as much, right? Even though our win percentage would be lower. Technically, with a 2-to-1 strategy, you only need to be winning 33% of the time to be break even. So that's kind of what we're looking at. We're doing 1-to-1 because it's easier to kind of ease into, because if you really think about it, we're coming from the 1-1-2 strategy where we were basically winning over 80% of the time, closer to 90%. So if I immediately jump into a 2-to-1 strategy where I'm only winning, say 40%, that's going to be pretty hard mentally. So that was part of why I went to 1-to-1 to start, and I'm kind of easing my way into it. But over the course of the 100 trades that we were talking about earlier, and like I said, after 25 trades, we're going to up it from $10 to 20. When we get to 50 trades, we're going to up it from 20 to 30. And then when we get to 75, we're going to up it from 30 to 40. So we are going to be scaling up as this goes along. But the whole point is we're looking at those 2-to-1 numbers. So if the 2-to-1 numbers end up turning out as good as they have so far, we're at 47%. If we can keep 47%, we're in business as far as trading the 2-to-1 strategy. So our sample size is going to be $100 as we test this, or 100 trades as we test this out. And if we can keep those numbers, I'm going to be pretty happy because we're definitely going to be starting to try to do 2-to-1. So we'll see how it pans out over the course of the 100 trades. But yeah, as of right now, we're risking 10 to make 10, and we'll be risking 20 to make 20, 30 to make 30, 40 to make 40. So that's how it works. Where before, we never really had a risk. We had what we would consider a max loss per trade. And, you know, depending on the share size that I was using, that would really kind of be dependent on what we were risking. But I remember for most of the time I was trading the 1-1-2, I was risking $100 per trade, and I was only making like 10, 20 bucks, if that sometimes, per trade. But usually 10 was around the minimum. And so we were just racking up small wins because a lot of my entries were a lot of my trades were single entry trades. So I was only getting 25% of my full position. And I started to find out that was an issue. So I decided, like, let's just give you a quick look. February 8th of 2019 is when we started. I'm pretty sure that's the date. We'll see. When we started the 1-1-2, like way back when. Let's see if that's the trade. Yep, CLF. So this is my win percentage overall, just through everything from February 8th. Now, keep in mind, I changed I changed a lot like throughout the middle of that, like towards the end. Like here, let me pull up the overall P&L graph here. So I can literally tell you this was the problem. I would do well because I was winning 90% of the time. And then I started to scale up, and then I would run into a trade where I let it get out of hand, right? And this was a problem with 112 is I got very emotional. And when you win so much, you tend to not want to lose. So when you do get in a loser, you try to fight it. And then look at what I did. This was March 1st. And this was May 9th. So basically 2 months of profits I gave back in one trade. Isn't that crazy? That was MTSI. That was the trade. So I actually have a video about this on YouTube. You guys can go watch it. And I go over, just type MTSI on my channel. But I lost 50% of my account that day. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy day. I ended up taking a whole month off in paper trading, just trying to figure out how to not let this happen again. And as you can see, when I came back, we were killing it, right? Got all the way back up here. Had a little bit of the market really wasn't aligning with our strategy in this area. Then we started climbing again, and I did it again. LYV came along, and it was pretty much the same thing as MTSI. I was just a little too confident. We weren't really losing. I started to scale up just a little bit and took the bullet. And I don't know, it really messed with my head. So pretty much throughout the next, I want to say it was like 3 months, we were just trying all kinds of different strategies. It was kind of an interesting journey. And as you can see, as we were trying all these things, we couldn't really find anything that stuck, right? We just kept kind of, oh, this kind of works. Nope. This kind of works. Nope. Yep. Still nope. Doesn't work. This kind of works. Nope. And then as you can see, this is when we started really small size getting back into this 112, right? This is when we had that steady climb. And then we had this one big loss, and I'm like, man, how do I prevent this, right? Because I mean, this was about 2.5 weeks, and I gave back pretty much almost all of it, 428. So I mean, pretty much all. So we started at 380, got to 490, so 110. And then we gave back 70 of it. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, you can't be doing that. So I started trying to figure out what I was doing. So if we go back to the dashboard, what I did is I went back through every single one of my trades and I started labeling them. And what I found out, let's watch this number. You ready? So $485, this is all of my trades. Watch what happens when we do this. Look at that. Look how crazy that is. 100, or when I change it to one entry, look at my returns and my win percentage and my profit factor. Look at that. That's insane. The difference. Let's go to 2 entries. 2 entries wasn't that bad either. 1 and 2 entries were my best, but 2 entries wasn't as good. And then if you do pretty much everything else, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this, I shouldn't have never been over 3, but like when we got a little carried away, 12, 10, look at that. All right. That's where Jeff, all right, man, look at you. I appreciate that a lot. No message? Appreciate that, man. I'll catch up here in the chat in a sec, but what I'm getting at is, I guess I got to put some balls in my mouth for that, Jeff. That's actually 2 balls. I guess per $10, I'll take a drink of balls and put them in my mouth. Yeah. I know it's not GDT and getting myself drunk, but hey. I do have the mistakes column. But anyways, real quick. As you can see, the more entries I had, my win-loss percentage would go down. My losses obviously went way down. Look at the profit factor on that. That is absolutely disgusting. But like I said, it's a process. But what I found out is, hey, maybe I'm more of a single entry type of trader. It fits me well. I seem to do best when I just have a single entry. So I said, I'm also, what are my 2 biggest problems? My 2 biggest problems are I get carried away if a stock goes against me. And when a stock works out for me, I seem to only be either 25 or 50% of my full position. Well, how do we fix that, right? Why not just get full size right away, right? I was literally the best thing I could think of. Instead of risking 100 to make 10, why not just risk 10 to make 10? Right? To me, it was like, what am I doing? Sure, it doesn't give you the leeway. Like if you're trying to play the front side of a parabolic stock, you're not getting the luxury of adding into a stock, right? Like let's go right back here to EFC. We took 2 losses on EFC. But here's the kicker. That last trade, the 2-to-1 would have worked, right? So these first 2, where you can clearly see that we were early, lost. This would have been a $10 loss, a $10 loss, $20 winner, right? And then if for some reason we had that new system in place, this thing went all the way through. Look at how much more it gave you. We could have made $40, $50, $60, right? And we could have been way up. So to me, it almost makes no sense to do it the way that I was. I mean, granted, trust me, I eventually will be taking some 112 trades in the future. But as of right now, just for growing an account, you should always kind of have a system in place where you know what your set risk is, because it's just, it's almost like, what's the KISS? Keep it simple, silly, stupid, keep it super simple, keep it, whatever your analogy is for that. That's what you should apply that to your trading. Because the 2 things that can blow you up if you're a new trader, horrible risk management and not being consistent, right? Those are the 2 things. You guys hear me talk about them all the time. All right, let me catch up here. So I think I answered you pretty in depth there, Alonzo. That was a good question. So if I do over a certain amount of commission fees, it's waived. Yes, it said that on the website. Real quick, just to go back. I don't understand why they didn't lower it for DOS, because it was 600 or 650, I forget, one of the 2. And they kept it there. So they lowered the price of the per month, but you still have to hit a certain amount. So for Sterling, if you reach 500 in commissions, they'd waive that $99. For DOS, yeah, you still need 650 and they'll waive the 90. So I don't know why they do it that way, but hey, if you get that high, then there you go. Which I've come close a bunch of times. I actually almost overtraded the last day of the month because I was at like 600 exactly. And I was like, no, I'm not going to waste $50 in commissions hoping that I make money just to save 90. It just didn't make sense. 15 likes, here we come. We're at 13. I'll for sure use your code when I open an account. Cool. Like I said, that side of things, yes, I am affiliated. It does help support the channel, but it's not enough for me to like push it on you guys, right? It's there to help you guys. Anything that I'm affiliated with, CMEG, ISW scanners, and this TraderSync, which I finally got the code. If you guys are interested, you get, I think it was it. I'm pretty sure it's 20%, maybe 15. Don't quote me on that. But I was just getting that set up. I think it's 15, and it is a little pricey, but I know he's kind of working out. He's kind of testing, because TraderSync's still kind of new, so they're kind of testing the markets right now and stuff like that. But I affiliate myself with tools that I'm using because I've thoroughly done my research. I've done my due diligence, and I know that these tools work for me. So when it comes to that, I, in return, am in a position with the YouTube channel to be affiliated with these guys to try to help you guys out when you're starting. So if you guys want to use the same tools that I'm using, I've now went out of my way to get affiliated with them to get you guys a cheaper price than if you were to just sign up with them normally, right? ISW scanners get you up to 30% off for the lifetime of your subscription. CMEG, you get an extra $1 off per ticket. That adds up. 1,000 trades, that's $1,000, right? 1,000 tickets, I meant. So if 1,000 trades in and out, that's $2,000 in your pocket just for using a code when you sign up, right? That's It's nothing to shake at. And then TraderSync, if you guys get really serious about tracking your stats and journaling, which I recommend to anybody. There is other options out there. There's free options. If you go back far enough in my channel, you'll see that I used to use stocktrader.net. I think it's what it is, stocktrader.net or .com. It's actually .com. Sorry, I thought it was .net for some reason. But this is a free option. They just don't have all the bells and whistles. So there's always options out there, guys. And come here. I'm going to tell you the truth. So ask away. Ask away. Let's see. If you use the column mistakes and you put in para or DT and just look at those, even though it's not a mistake, well, yeah, you could do that. I actually use that for just if I followed my plan and didn't follow my plan. So that way I can go back and like, let's just do it for instance. So even just since February 8th, well, I don't think I did it all the way back to that point. I think I only started doing that most recently, but we can still do it. So let's see, followed plan. Let's see how much money we made or didn't make. So 42.52, that's actually not great, but I think, yeah, see, that's only just recent. It's only 119 trades. So I wonder, so that's including a big loss, I bet. Let me just do it this way. Return. No, I guess it wasn't. I guess for the account though, that's a pretty big loss because I've been using small size. And as you can see, yeah, February 5th, let's see when I started doing it, January 28th. So it wasn't that long ago, and I was already using super small size. So followed plan, and then I really hope for do not followed plan it is not positive, because that would like. But yeah, as you can see, did not follow plan. We've lost quite a bit more, and as you can see, it's a shorter list. But yeah, look at the bigger numbers, right? So when I followed my plan, these numbers were cut in half on some of these bigger ones. So that's kind of what I've been using it for. But yeah, I guess you could put that in there as well. You could put that under setups as well, I guess. You don't have to put it up under mistakes. You changed your method. I don't know you anymore. It's the same method. The entries are the same. The only thing that I am doing different is I'm just using one entry instead of 112. Like finding the entries, the way I find them, everything, all of that is the same. No, what are you talking about? Yeah, with you, Vincenzo. Nope, those were MMA, Tim. But yeah, I'm assuming that was from MTSI and LYV. I think I mentioned my one entry preference way back, but who's counting? You know, Vincenzo, hey, you can lead a horse to water. If the horse wants to drink the water or not, that's a different story. I prefer balls. And yes, I was the horse in that scenario. Only 14 views and 12 likes. We need more than that. Yeah. I was not expecting it to be a huge turnout today because, again, the markets were closed. And it's Easter weekend, so. Jeez, my youngest son, he loves kicking his crib. Jeff with the bro support. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the donation. Any help is needed, guys. You guys know that I put everything right back into the channel. So anything that is donated, I appreciate that. I did start a Patreon thing as well. I haven't had one person sign up for that yet. I've actually thought about signing up myself just to get it going. But yeah, that would be kind of cheesy. I figured if no one really, it seems to work for some creators, but I guess I'm just not big enough or people don't really care enough. And I don't really have anything to offer because I give you guys everything here on the channel as it is. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not trying to purposely not give you information so that you have to pay for it. It's just not who I am. So I guess there's really no reason to sign up as a Patreon because there's really no need for it. I guess I give away too much for free, which I always will. That's just what I do. What's the difference between DOS and Sterling? Well, they're different platforms. So I personally used Sterling for about a month, and then I went back to DOS. I just really didn't like it. Sterling tries to be a little bit more modern with their features, and yeah, they're kind of cool, but I felt like the platform was just a little bit laggy for my preference. And DOS is just like, on point. They're simple, it's clean, it's efficient, right? That's what I'd rather. I'd rather quick execution over, something that looks a little bit better. DAS is better. Sterling sucks. I've never had any issues with Sterling. I started using it in January. Yeah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I just coming from DOS, going to Sterling, you could just feel that that little bit of I don't know. I don't know. I want to call it lag, but I don't. It just something was off with it. I just didn't like it. NYC is now weed legalized. Come on, Texas, you piece of crap. Texas, do your job. That's crazy that NYC is. I didn't think a big city or a big state like that would actually do that, but I guess they figured the tax money. It's all personal preference, but DOS is faster and you can customize it better. I agree. How about GDT's equity chart? Did you see that? I did. He's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. Now keep in mind, I was actually looking at a couple articles of traders that have been around for 25 years. And there was this one guy who literally showed his equity chart. Let me pull up. Let's just do it this way. His equity chart looked like this. It looked like this, like this. And this is, let's give you some reference. It was like 2000, like 05, 10, and then just for reference, we'll go like here. So he was just killing it. And I mean, this is like, like 25K, 100K. I want to say it was like 500. Like the dude was killing it. Like he got to the point where he was like bringing in 100K a year. And we'll just say 1 mil, whatever. I don't know exactly what it was. And then literally one trade. That's all it takes. That, and to be completely honest, when it comes to scaling in, this is what I'm scared of. The emotions behind it. When you had flash crashes or, just all that other stuff that could possibly happen when the market starts tanking. And, when the market, let's pull it back up real quick. Let's clear this. Oops, that's not what I meant to hit. Let's just minimize. There we go. So here on the SPY, this is the daily. This is exactly what happened. So his P&L basically looked just like the SPY, minus like these big dips. So his P&L literally, why is that so big? Holy crap. There we go. It was kind of like this, and then, like little dip, bleep, bleep, little dip, 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 dip. And then he was like really making some money. And then this happened, right? The Roni happened. So if we scroll in a little bit, what he did is he simply scaled into a trade like he had been the entirety of his career. He just kept scaling in because eventually, if you just keep scaling in, it's going to bounce, right? Well, he's now using tremendous size and was never, really using that risk management the way that he should, and he got away with it. He kept getting away with it over and over and over and over, and he thought that he figured it out. And then this happened. And he, they were talking about how he started, why does it keep doing that? How he started like up near the top. He was like playing a support level. Obviously no bounce, comes back down, adds in, gets a bounce, doesn't get up to where he wants it. He's looking for this thing to, go high of day. And then out of nowhere, it starts getting serious and this thing just plummets. Well, he waits. He sees this thing starting to bounce, adds again. As it looks like it's bouncing, huge gap down. Looks like it's going to bounce again. I think he had mentioned he added like right over the 250 area. And what did it do? Kablooey. And he was in too big. He got margin called on his full account. Now, granted, he had taken a ton of money out of the account at that point, but he was basically saying that he lost over 50% of his total gains from the last 20 years. I'll have to find it. I'll find it and I'll link it. But that's nuts, guys. It takes one trade without proper risk management. And now, granted, I'm not saying anything against GDT, but that I'm just going to prove, because GDT, I like to think, has some proper risk management in his head somewhere. And I think he'll be perfectly fine. But if you get away with something for so long, you're just going to keep doing it. If you keep breaking rules and getting away with it, you're just going to keep doing it, right? So until it really burns you that one time, hopefully you survive that one time, and then you can really start to put some rules into place. But as you can tell, all it takes is that one black swan, right? Everyone's calling this a black swan because that's exactly what it is. I suck at drawing. It's so true. A VTT? Nice, man. I actually, you know what? I don't have that set up on to pop up if somebody buys merch, but I can, I think. I don't know if I can. I'll have to check that out. They're very comfortable. I have one. I just don't wear it very often. I actually wear it. It's funny. I always end up going to shower like after I get off the morning stream, because that's usually when I get a chance to shower. And I'll wear it more in like the afternoons, like when I'm off stream and stuff, more so than I do on stream. I need to start wearing it more on the stream. You want us to buy your love? No, I don't want you to buy anything. I don't ever want you guys to like buy anything to give me satisfaction. That's not how I would get satisfaction. I get satisfaction just for you guys showing up and talking to me. I love Sterling. The hot button bar sealed the deal for me. Don't need to take your hand off the mouse to trade. You don't have to do that on DOS either. I will model it in a video. I would pay to see that. See, now we're talking. You pay for my merch, and then I pay you to see you model it. Up the escalator, down the chute. Yep, that's pretty much what I was describing. That's all it takes. One trade. And I mean, guys, I literally showed it to you. Let me pull it back up. I mean, can't really be any more telling to what can really happen, right? I would get away with just adding to my positions over and over again, right? Up, up, up we go. And then guess what? The one time I do it. Here, let's take a look at it. I think it's still on here. Oh, I guess I got to go to. Lost $1,000 on that trade. Yep, here's the chart. So look at this. It never wanted to work, right? I got one, two, didn't work. So instead of just cutting the full position right here for like $150 loss, I said, you know what? No, I don't lose anymore. I always win. So I cut half the position and then look to add back in. And then, so we added back in up here. I'm pretty sure, I don't know why there's two green arrows there. Let's find out. And look at the share size I was using then too. 200, 300. We took half, and then it's saying we sold again before we. Oh, so okay, I see what happened. So 200, 300. I remember this was a mistake to begin because I took 300 first, and I only meant to take 200, and then so I tried to go back down, but then we took half as it went high of day. Felt like it was coming back down. As you can see, it kind of did. So we added back. That's what it was. Took half, added back, 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 and then finally we cut the whole thing when it went high of day again because we realized it wasn't going to break down. Why? Like, this looked like a grinder from the beginning, and I just kept on fighting it like an idiot because I didn't want to be wrong. I ended up losing $1,000 on this instead of like the $150 that I could have lost. So it just goes to show you, it only takes one trade. And look, that one trade, that MTSI trade, is this huge move down. That's this right here. This is MTSI. So it just goes to show you 2 months of profit down the drain, just like that. It only takes one. That's it. Oops, so I meant to minimize. Horseshoe, that's what she said. Maybe you did Wolf Wall Street style, too much hooker and cocaine. Maybe. You just made the stream NSFW. Martingale will eventually catch you. That's very true. I'll tell you a story. So, story time with volatility trading. Anyways, I used to play on Party Poker and Poker Stars back when I played poker a lot. And on my Party Poker account, they had blackjack. And I would play sit and goes. I would play $11 sit and goes, 10 plus 1. So before I would play a sit and go, I would always go to the blackjack table and I would martingale that shit until I got my entry for the sit and go. So I would basically play free sit and goes. So I would wager $11. If I lost, I would wager $11 to get back to even. If I lost that, 22, 44, 88, right? And so forth. So basically I was putting the probabilities in my favor that I was going to win a 50-50. It'd be hard for me to lose a bunch in a row. Now, keep in mind, if you guys have watched, I'm going to link it in the chat. It's called Darren Brown's The System. Now, I'm still catching up in chat, but I'm just going to link that while we're talking about this. Go watch that, because this is exactly what I'm telling you that happened to me. So eventually, I want to say it was like $4,000 in the account. No, it was I want to say $3,000 in the account that I had built up from. It was like $500, and this was just playing. I started off at like $6 sit and goes. I went to the $11 sit and goes, and this was how I was doing it. This was my system, and I did it for like 3-4 years, and I figured, I'll just keep moving up that way, and whatever. It was working. One day, I sat down, $11. Here, let me pull up a calculator. $11 lost. Now, keep in mind this worked for a long time. $11 lost. 22 lost. 44 lost. Now keep in mind the idea is to get back down to zero, just winning once, and then just starting at 11 again. Until all you have to do is win that first hand just once, right? And if you don't, you just keep going until it does. And then 88, 176. 352. This is when you start to sweat a little bit, right? Because you went from risking 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just 6 hands ago. 6 hands ago, you're only risking $11, and now you're risking 352. Again, 704. You imagine, and now you're on tilt, because now you're just like, this is impossible, right? This has never happened before. This is impossible. And then you hit it again, and guess what? Now you're at 1408, but guess what? Now there's a catch. There's a $1,000 max limit on the table. So now, even if you play for $1,000 and you win, you're still down $408. So now the system is flawed, right? You can't just keep doubling down now. So what do you do now? Now we're down 1408, and we say, you know what? This isn't happening. This can't be happening. So you hit it for $1,000, and guess what? Loser. Now 2408 of your $3,000 is gone, and you're like, what just happened? What just happened? Just like that. And that took, what is this? One, the other, so one after this for 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. That is absolutely perfect, because if you go watch that link that I sent you, Darren Brown's The System, it's exactly the number he uses for showing you that you can flip heads and tails consecutively 10 times in a row. And he goes on to show you like how the system works. It's a very interesting documentary / movie, whatever you want to call it, to watch. But that happened to me. It happened to me, and it was a day I'll never forget. And I just sat there in awe. I did. I was like, what just happened? And it was 10 hands of blackjack. What's that? It took a minute, 2 minutes, just clicking the button. It just happened so fast. And that's how quick these trades can happen too. With OCX, that was before I started the 112. It was like right before. I lost like $1,300 on that one, and I was only risking like 100. I think it was $100 or $150 a trade. I was in a winning trade. My son tugs on me, says, "Hey, Dad, I have to go to the bathroom." I get up. I come back as I thought it was going down through a key level. Didn't put any stop losses in because I was still new then. I was up like $200 on the trade. It was at a key level, looking like it was going to break. I come back. It was like 3.5, 4 minutes later, and the thing was halted 100 or 1 point. It was like $1.26 above my average. I was in 1,000 shares. I was immediately down like $1,300. And I ended up getting margin called that day because I just let it go against me. I was a deer in headlights. I didn't have any more I didn't want to add to it. I didn't have any more buying power. I was basically along for the ride. I was a deer in headlights. I didn't know what to do. And that was kind of when I found ISW, and I'm very grateful that Brian took me in, and it's all kind of history. Thankfully, that stock went up, and I was basically down my whole account. At one point I was down like $3,800 with only $4,200 in the account, and it was up near a key level at like 7. I wonder if I could actually go back and show you guys. You know what? I think I can now because I have the demo. We're gonna do that. I want to show you guys how fast it can happen. I just have to go back and look at when OCX happened here. Oops. All right. Dashboard. We're gonna have to get rid of this. Stock or symbol OCX. And then I'm gonna catch up in chat here as we're doing this. So here it is. So I ended up losing after fees and stuff $1,419. Ouch. Super ouch. So I don't have the chart on here, obviously. I'm here for the date. So January 29th, and as you can see, look, January 29th, I actually held this all the way to February 6th, and February 8th is when I started with ISW, just to give you some timeline there. All right, so DOS, let's open up. I know you can't see this. I'm just opening up this setup. You guys will be able to see it here in a sec. All right. OCX, let's download data stream mode, replay, apply, yes, OCX, date, January 29th. Hey, what happened there? January 29th, boom, there we go, download. And load, OCX is there, okay, play. All right. So when did the trade actually happen? Those times are not right. Okay, so that's just when I input it. So let's go back. I know it was like right near the bell. Because I was actually in this pre-market. So let me give you some context. So right now we're at, obviously, coming up on the bell. Let me, tools, market clock, pop out. All right, so we're at 9:18. And let's scroll forward here a little bit just to get to around 9:30. And we'll slow it back down. I'll explain kind of what happened here. All right. So we were in 500 shares as this started to come down. It popped back up right here. We actually added 500 shares as it was going back down through 4, right? And then this started to happen at the bell. As this was happening, my son, actually, I don't think so. I think let's scroll through this. We're going to watch it happen at 16 times speed here. You guys will see what happened, and when it halts, I will go ahead and pause it because I'm pretty sure it was a couple minutes in that he came and tugged on me. Yeah, because it started to come back down because our average was actually at like 380, and we're in 1,000 shares. I guess I could just tell you. Let's pause this for a sec. So 351 and 416. So what's the math on that? 351 plus 416 divided by, dang it. No, just end. Oh my god. 351 plus 416 equals, and then divide by 2. So 383. So I knew we were around there. So let's hit play again. So keep in mind, when this shoots down under our average, we were up like 250 bucks or something. Or here it is right here. Okay. So right here, I went to the bathroom with my kid, and literally it was right here on this candle as it was coming back down. Or I saw it. So it had to be at 375. And for some reason, I think I had this line. I had a line on my chart. Maybe it was like right here. I don't remember why. And I just remember saying, oh, it's at a key level. Let me run him to the bathroom. So I left when we were on this candle, and I was up a decent amount of money, right? And then, as you can see, literally 2 minutes later, plus I traded on the 1 minute back then, so this is kind of what it looked like. But it was not even 4 minutes later, I came back, and this thing was halted. Come on. You'll see it. It goes. Maybe it was at, I know it does it, guys. Just bear with me here. So this, I think maybe this is what I was in. I honestly don't remember. I try to phase it out, but I remember saying, okay, we're at a key level. We're breaking down. Because we would only been up, what, like $70 there? I was up like almost $200. You're going to see how quick it happens. And then we'll move on. Was it right here? I've never had a chance to actually go back and replay it like this, so, or I did on Thinkorswim, but it looks better here on DOS. So maybe this was it. The thing just skyrockets out of nowhere. Yeah, I think this is it right here. Wait for it, wait for it. And we're going to halt. Now keep in mind, I didn't take any of my position out here. Not a single bit. I just, no stop loss, nothing. Didn't take any profit, just 1,000 shares riding. Because what I did is as we were at this level, and that's definitely the line that I had there, was based off of that level right there. I said, if we break this level, I'm going to have a huge winner, right? That's all I could think of is let's get down there to 350, test, and we'll have a huge winner. We were up like 200 bucks, and my kid's tugging on my arm right here. As you see, 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes later, it was gone. And it was just, I was dumbfounded. I came back and I was looking at my screen like, it was halted at 525. Our average was down here at 383. So it's like 1,400 bucks. And then let's just fast forward to closer to the end of the day, just to show you what happened. So our average was here. Lost connection to the order server. Sweet. That was some really bad timing. Okay. Our average was all the way down here. That's insane. Look at how far against me I let that go with 1,000 shares. We were, like I said, we were down. If this would have went through 7 at any point, our account was blown, like fully blown. And thankfully it just never did. And as you can see, it towards the end of the day, it started to come down. And right here is where we actually got margin called out of most of our shares. Because if you look right here on the 29th, they forced this out of, what is that, 209 shares. So we were that close. We were that close to getting margin called. It was a scary trade. But okay, Anyways, let's get out of here. We're actually going to probably lose the connection to this one too. Yeah, we'll just leave it there for now. So that's the danger, guys. That's what I'm trying to, that's kind of what we're getting at here is it only takes one. That's why I preach risk management. I've been through it. I basically blew my account there and got very lucky. That was the one time I think in my trading career where I've actually been lucky. And the reason I was lucky is because instead of blowing my, I'm pretty sure it was I had 4,000 in there at the time. Instead of blowing a $4,000 account, I was left with like 2,000, 2,500. I was very thankful. And from there, I wasn't a statistic yet, right? Because if I blew that account, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you guys. I would have went back to, just taking care of the kid until I could get a job and blah, 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 right? That's what most people do. They size too big, too early. They still don't know what they're doing. Apparently don't even know how to put stop losses in. And with 1,000 share position on a highly volatile stock, getting greedy, not taking profits off, like there was just so much wrong with what happened there, right? And we got lucky because we let that thing go that far against us. It just boggles my mind to this day. That's why I preach risk management all the time. It's number one. You have to stay afloat. If you can't stay afloat, you're not going to learn. I always tell everyone, you go start a new job, you're not going to know exactly what you're doing the first day. You're not going to know what you're doing the first year. I mean, you're going to start to grasp the concept, but you're not going to be really good at it. You're still going to be learning, right? You have to do something for a long period of time before you understand everything about what you're doing. So always keep that in mind. Not Wolf style. That's Victor Neidenhofer style. I have platform risk controls enabled. Yeah, I need to do that myself, but I feel like I'm past the point where I need that because I'm basically have a set risk reward every trade now. So the only way I could really screw myself there is on like a daily max loss. So like say right now with risking 10 every single trade, I guess I could put a max loss at like $100, like just 10x. So if I go down 10R any given day, the platform just shuts me out. So I can't sit here and just like keep taking trades and lose more than that. So I don't know. That could be a thing in the future, but we'll see. I don't think I'll ever have that problem. I'm very risk management keen now. Ever since that poker incident that I talked to you guys about earlier, I've been pretty risk adverse, which can be a problem in the market, right? You have to take risk to make money, right? That's the whole point of the market. So keep that in mind too. There's got to be a fine line between being safe and, not risking too much. The Wolf of Wall Street controlled the stocks he was selling. Yeah, that's true. Even though Niederhofer blew out 2 big hedge fund accounts, his book on his trading life is still fantastic. Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to head to bed myself. I can feel myself getting to that point. The coin really has no memory. Back to the scene of the crime. Yeah, that was definitely not a fun trade. And watching it back, it just made me realize how stupid I was. Like, there is no chance in hell that you would see me not be taking profits there at some point, let alone not having a stop loss above Hive Day or like at Hive Day. There's no way that trade would ever happen again. It just goes to show you. That's why being inexperienced causes issues, right? That's why you need risk management in place to stick around. So, good night, Mother. I appreciate you being here. Surprised you even were here this long. I mean, that's true too, Thomas. Going back and just watching a trade like that, even though I don't have any video of me actually trading it, it's pretty crazy. Let's go back and watch like first couple of videos, like just to see how I used to trade, and like just where I am now. I meant to hit your channel. Videos, filter, sort by oldest. So let's go to one where I know that we actually won. I'm pretty sure CYH was a winner. Oh, the original intro. I used to love that thing. What's up, traders? one trade today on CYH, as you can see on my chart. Just going to get right into it. It's going to be quick. Definitely forgot to hit record this morning. It was a little bit chaotic with the kids. One's recovering. All right, so we're not going to watch that one because I wanted to watch a live trade. Man, some of these only got like 30 views. Come on, guys. Come on. Why do I have that look? I thought ARQL was a winner. All right. Got 510. Oh, I know why, because I take the profits. Look at that. I'm going to kick myself for this one. Did you guys see that? I don't know why I just did. I was in that trade for like 2 seconds. Let's go back. Look how well I read this. We basically pick the top. Look at the previous resistance all the way down here at like 475. So we get in there. I can't see it. Looks like 510. Yep, 510. And watch. We take it off at 5. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's crazy. I don't know why I just did that. I mean, I know I did that because I was like, I was still new. I didn't completely understand what I was doing. That's awesome. Look at all that room it still has left. That's crazy. Now, granted, you know, doing one-to-one the way that we are now, that would be acceptable. But we're also making a lot more with the one-to-one. But when I was doing 1-1-2, again, single entry, that's completely unacceptable. Because, you know, we're looking for that previous resistance. But anyways, it's kind of funny. It's crazy, too, to watch the video. I have the same mic, different webcam, though. Look at these thumbnails. I like the Bitmoji. It was easy. Then we went to, like, these charts for a little while. It is pretty cool to see, like, the evolution of the channel. And my wife's butt. I thought that was going to get a lot more views with the thumbnail. I definitely do like the thumbnails better with me in them. They just look better. I've recycled a few of them at this point. I like how it breaks up, because for a while there, it was literally like, look at it like this. It just was like too much. I don't know. It didn't look very good. It wasn't very aesthetic. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here if you guys don't have any questions. Anybody got any last minute questions? I feel like it was a pretty good stream. Didn't really even get to finish up the first thing that we started talking about. So I guess that's a good thing. Constant questions, constant engagement. I like it. But yeah, next week on Monday, I hope you all have a good Easter. Monday morning, we're going to still be using the same system here until we get to 25 trades. And then the next day, so we might have more than 25 trades, but that next day afterwards, we'll be up in the risk, but everything else will stay the same. I give you a high five for the wife's butt. Or are you trying to high five my wife's butt? Either or, I'm fine with. It's fine. Any questions or comments that you guys might think about over the weekend, you can leave them in the comment section of the stream. You can find me on Discord, which is down in the description. Find me on Twitter, also down in the description. Everything's pretty much down in the description if you need to see it. Mom, thanks again for the donation. I know you're not here. Jeff, if you're still here, again, I appreciate the donation. You guys know I always appreciate your support in any way that you show it. And yeah, I guess maybe we'll see if we can get to 35 viewers at some point in the mornings next week. Give you guys, what are we at? 10. I'll give you guys 2 more minutes. Go to 12:12. I'll go to 12:12:12. Look at the time exactly. 12 in the morning, 12:12 in the morning and 12 seconds. 12:12 and 12 seconds. Try to be weird about when we stop recording. It's funny. I'll sit here and drink this energy drink, and I'll go upstairs and just pass right out. It's like, it's almost like a placebo effect at this point for me. I've had so much caffeine in my life. I think my body's like, yo, we run on caffeine. Get that out of here. We don't need that anymore. It like goes into my system, and they're like, or maybe I absolutely need caffeine to run. I don't know, like just to run normally. I wonder how much caffeine I'd have to drink to actually feel something from it. Because I mean, drinking these, I don't really feel too much from them anymore. I just want to celebrate. Did get an update that our baseball season, like umpiring and stuff, might actually still happen and like actually playing. So that'll be nice. The season's going to be like severely pushed back. They're going to play basically summer into the fall instead of spring into the summer. So what are you basing you being able to raise the share size? Did you hit a win rate that you are happy with? I'm just basing it off of number of trades. The reason I'm all the way down at $10 per trade is just because I didn't want to risk a lot as I started and kind of started figuring it out. Because like, imagine starting a new strategy and it just doesn't work, right? Just one little change to something you were doing before. Like in theory, yes, I was really good with single entry trades, but I also knew that I had the option to add to those trades. So if you take that option completely off and now you're making only single entry trades, is that going to affect your entries? Is it going to affect the overall win percentage? Like it just really makes you kind of wonder. So that was kind of the idea of really just going down to an amount that I would be okay with as we were figuring that out. But I think even just after 19 trades, I already know that we should be okay. Like I still feel like I'm getting the same types of entries. So I don't know why I chose 25, but I did. I know I want to do 100 trades for the full sample size as far as like the win percentage goes and checking out the 2-to-1. But as far as the risk to reward, if it's working, I want to make more money. So that's kind of what it comes down to. I was going to do 50 and 50. Like I was going to do 50 trades at $10 and then just jump up to like $25 or something like that. But then I said, you know what, I'll just ease into it and I'll just do every 25 trades and then we'll just go up 10 each time. So that's all. It was something simple. Really nothing crazy about it. Any follow-up questions? Ask away. But you know, Thomas, that you can ask me throughout the weekend if you have any other questions. But it is nice to answer questions here on the stream because if I do have to show you something, it's just that much easier. I never did show you guys the new. I wonder if I even saved it in here yet. No, I didn't. There we go. There's the new hotkey, which I just had 25 in there because that was what the old one was. Oops. But basically this ascending triangle now will give me the risk set here, which is, this is the only button you have to change for your risk, but it'll give you the bid and then it'll take the amount of cents to high of day and that'll be your share size. So it basically takes 10 divided by the amount of cents in between your entry and high of day, gives you the share size, and then it will take that same split and then add it to your average to the downside and give you bracket orders for your take profit. And that's the other thing too, is with these descending triangles, I'm just going to be putting my stops at the high of day instead of like the high of day plus one, because I want to prepare myself. Because in the future, just real quick, someone like Jared Wesley, if you guys watch him over at Live Traders, he will put his stops at high of day or low of day or wherever he's needs them to be for his stops, or like the key, whatever. Yeah, it's usually low of day, I think, or wherever that key break is. Because when you're using bigger share size, if you put it right under there and you get skipped and you have a market order in as a stop, say it's at like $10 and you put your stop at $9.99. Well, when it flushes through low of day, which is at $10 and also a whole dollar, your market order might not get filled until like $8.80. Like that's possible. It's happened to me. I've had 20-cent slippage on stocks before. But if you put it at that key area of 10, the odds are you're going to get filled before that happens. And how often, I was actually talking to David about this, how often does it get down to low of day or high of day and use that as resistance or support? It's very rare. Usually if it gets to that point, it's going to jump through at least then test and eat up that liquidity on the other side of that key area before either jumping back up and continuing or flushing down through. So it's better to just, I feel, especially as you use bigger share size, to go where the liquidity is definitely going to be, which is at that key point, like right at it, instead of trying to be right under it or above it, because then you're kind of playing with fire there with your stop losses. So one last little tidbit of information there. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and just get out of here. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I always appreciate that support. Thanks for the donations tonight. It's always appreciated. Have a good Easter weekend. Enjoy the family as much as you can. Social distance, all that good stuff. It does kind of suck. We're actually not going to have the normal Easter that we usually have, but hey, I'm going to be smoking a pork butt. Kids are still going to go find some eggs. We're going to smash eggs, all that good stuff. And I'm going to have a good time. So hopefully you guys have a good weekend. Don't think about the market too much. I know I can never stop thinking about it, and I will see you guys Monday morning. Peace.